Hey, this is just a quick tutorial about how to run tracks here at Faith Church on the weekend. So I've got Ableton Live in front of me. This is a software that we use to run our tracks. So as you can see in this session, they're all loaded in here. We've got a couple different songs: Build My Life, Christ is Mine Forevermore, Worthy, and Lord I Need You. You'll see on Lord I Need You, it's split into two parts over here, the first part and second part. This is because it's communion weekend. So typically what we do for communion is that the pastor will come up, he'll set communion up, introduce that before we sing the first part. We'll sing the first part of the song while the pastor, while they are passing out the communion, and then the pastor will come up in this section and lead us in communion, and then we'll close with that last half of the song. So that's why that looks like that. To run tracks on the weekend, it's actually pretty simple. At the very top here, you'll see some buttons. There's a play button and a stop button. And these do just what you would expect based off of, they're the same as on Spotify, or if you are playing a TV show, the play button just makes things go. It starts things. So you'll see here, when I press play, I'll zoom in here so you can see a little closer. When I press play, the playhead over here is actually just going to start going. So here's play. You'll see it starts to move, and our opening drone begins. If I press stop, it stops right there. If I press stop again, it takes us back to the very beginning. So at the top of service, you press play, and that'll start that opening drone. And then what we do to control and to fire into that first song is we're actually going to skip ahead over all this space right here. So when the time comes, all you have to do is press button 1 on your MIDI controller or 1 on the computer keyboard, and that will skip to this locator right here at the start of song 1. So here that comes.
Intro, 2, 3, 4.
And you hear that it's playing song 1. Now, what's really handy is at the end of song 1, it's actually going to go straight into song 2. So I'll skip ahead a little bit so you can see how that's going to work out here. Song 1 and song 2 go back to back, so we're just going to keep letting it play. We don't need to skip ahead or anything.
4.
There's a little bit of space between the songs, but you'll hear how that goes here.
Intro, 2.
And there's song 2. And then song 2 will play all the way through. This is a play that we often do on the weekends, where song 1 and 2 will be back to back like that.
2, 3.
At the end of song 2, I'll skip ahead again. So at the very end of song 2,
3.
It's going to fade out of that key and go into the new key. And this is often where we will do our corporate confession in the service. So you'll see that drone comes in the key of C. And there would be a prayer here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to skip ahead again, just like we did at the beginning of service. So to go to our third song, we're going to press button 3, or the 3 on our keyboard, and that takes us to song 3. So here goes song 3.
Intro, 2, 3.
And you'll see it's just skipping ahead every time. So we never have to stop it. We never have to press play again. It just keeps rolling all the way through. So now we're in song 3. At the very end of song 3, we do want to stop it, though, and I'll show you why. So here's the end of song 3, and this is the space where we'll have congregational prayer, scripture reading, and the sermon. And if we didn't stop it here, eventually it would just keep playing, and in the middle of the sermon, it would start song 4. So at the very end, once all the tracks we've heard they've faded out, now that all those are done, we just press stop, and now we know that it's not going to keep going and start playing tracks in the middle of the sermon. And obviously the goal would be that it'd be muted at the audio board at front of house, and that we wouldn't have to worry about that. But it's always nice to have the safety of us stopping it as well. Okay, so that's the end of the first set. Everything's gone well there. We've gotten through that. Let's go and take a look at the back half, okay? So after the sermon, we get up to do our closing song. Again, this weekend is a communion weekend. And so once you get up to start that fourth song, just press button 4, And this will skip that playhead from the end of song 3 over here over to song 4. I'll do that now. You'll see this counter went up to song 4 there. And now that the playhead is at song 4, all we have to do is press play on our MIDI controller or on our computer.
Intro, 2, 3,
and song 4
4.
plays. It's that simple. At the end of song 4, or at least the first part of song 4, you'll see on this weekend we're going into communion, so it's fading out. The drone keeps going, and it's the same play we did earlier with the opening drone and the confession drone. This drone just keeps playing. When the time comes, all we have to do is skip ahead to that next section by pressing song 5. Here goes song 5.
1, 2, bridge, 2,
And
breakdown,
we're ready
4.
to do the rest of that song. And when we get to the very end of that song, and all the tracks have faded out and it's quiet, we could press stop one more time. And that's all there is to it. Basically, it just keeps playing unless you tell it to stop. And at certain points, there's drones that are built in. And to get to the next section, all we have to do is press the button for the next song. Hope that helps.